Hi everyone! Today I want to show you how I make a scrapbook page that I have planned in my head, and I don't know how that's going to go on video because normally I show you the finished product first and then we work out how to make it. And if it's a card, that's okay because I like having more than one of the same card since I send them out. But with the scrapbook page, I only have one photo and I don't want two of the exact same scrapbook page. So we're going to go through this and hopefully I won't make too many blunders. This is the photo that I'm going to scrapbook. It's actually a really old one because this little guy is now 10. She's going to be 8 soon, and my niece Maggie happened to be with us that day. The kids were afraid to go see the bunny, so my niece Maggie sat with them, or stood by them so they wouldn't be afraid, and it's really cute. They love being with their cousin Maggie, so I'm happy that she's in the photo. This is what I'm going to use for my page, and I loved the flowers in the background. They're very funny flowers. They're not fancy or sophisticated flowers. They're very bold and bright, and so my flowers are going to reflect that. I was looking through my stamps and framelits, and I found this collection that I thought was a little more whimsical and cartoony as opposed to some of the more elegant and beautiful flowers. So I decided to try this one. And when I was looking through the catalog, I saw this really pretty card using this stamp set. And we're going to kind of make a scrapbook page based on this card. The Stampin' Up! Catalog is a great resource for planning out cards and scrapbook pages because you can take anything in here and modify it for your needs. And so that's what we're going to do. It's a really wonderful book. And if you need one and would like to get one, let me know. The catalog is huge, and it comes out once a year. It's available online at my blog, www.bethspapercuts.com, and you can see all the wonderful pages there. Okay, so let's get started. I use a 12 by 12 for my scrapbooking. And a little bit about my scrapbooking. I am not one to follow a lot of rules. So some of my pages are traditional scrapbooking, some of my pages are pocket style scrapbooking, and I mix them all together. So I chose my background. I wanted it to be like the card sample and mainly white. And I did put another piece behind it. So this is a 12 by 12 piece of Calypso Coral, and on top of it I layered an 11 by 11 Whisper White. And we're going to work off of that. And I'm going to build the floral circle around here. So I just kind of lay it out. And I went to my kitchen and found a plate that was about the size I wanted to use. Now this plate looks a little small, but actually we're going to use the area outside of it. So this is not our center line because I'm going to leave it here while I stamp. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to do is create a leaf background. So I'm going to try and leave my plate in place as I stamp around it because I don't want to use a pencil on the white. Sometimes you can use a pencil line, but I don't want to worry about the erasing marks too much on this one. So I'm taking this leaf stamp image and I'm going to bend it slightly. I want to get it close to the edge as possible. And with photopolymer you can bend the stamp, so it's kind of a cool little thing you can do. And I want to bend it and go, yeah. Okay, so I've got it bent enough. If you bend it too much, it won't look right. So I'm gonna stick with that. Okay, and then I chose a green for the leaves. And I'm gonna go with Old Olive. Okay, so we're going to work our way around the plate, and the plate is just a guide, so I'm just going to not worry too much about how close I get to it. Okay, I have gone all around my plate. So the plate can go away. And now we're going to work on stamping some flowers. I have lots of little scraps in a scrap bag of white. So we're going to go ahead and use those. And I took some colors based on some of the flowers in the background of the photo. And I'm going to go with Melon Mambo. Let's see if that'll fit on here. Okay. And some Flirty Flamingo to go with that pink. Got Elegant Eggplant to go with this purple. And I used some crushed curry for some little yellow accents that I'm going to put in the centers. Okay. I like to use little scraps because first off, I'm using up my scraps, which is always a good thing, but then also I can manipulate them onto the magnetic platform of my Big Shot and stamp out several at one time. So, or cut out several at one time, I should have said. And there's a trick to these framelits. As you can see, there's lots of little petals and bumps and things, and it's hard to line them up. So I'm going to tell you how I do it. Okay, so I look for a certain petal that I think is more distinguished than the others. On this one, I think it's kind of this fat one there, and I try to find it. I'm usually, oh, yep, that was it. And I'm usually pretty good at spotting those, although I like puzzles. So, could be that's why. Alright. Now this one, I feel like the distinguishing one here is this really skinny, pointy one, or this kind of knife blade looking one. So I looked on here for a skinny blade-like, or this kind of a knife cut there, and I'm going to try that. Yay! Okay, got that one. Some of the newer dies have little tabs on them that tell you what side's up, and it's easier to line them up. But this one is an older one, and it doesn't do it. This die collection, by the way, is called Flower Fair, and the stamp set is called Flower Patch. Now this one is trickier. These little bumps are different, and so I looked for a spot on the die that had a bigger space, a wider space between the images, and I think I found it. Yep, okay. This one is the hardest one, and I kind of decided that it wasn't, oops. This platform is magnetic and kind of looks like those two wanted to be together. Sometimes I use a little post-it note, little tiny ones that I have on my desk to hold things in place because they can jump around. Alright, let's see if I can get this one. This one I might just have to spin and spin and spin until I like it. There. Now I need a post-it note for that little tiny one. Okay. Now this one, the distinguishing flower petal is probably this one. It kind of curves out a little bit. So I found, yep, see one of them curves out, and I'm gonna, there we go. There. Okay, so then I can crank this through my Big Shot all at one time and get a lot of flowers at once. I'm going to do that not on the camera because it's just big and bulky and not pretty to look at, so might as well do it off camera. Okay, I'm back. So there's our Flirty Flamingo, our Melon Mambo, I saved these little guys, and our two yellows. Okay, and then I can run this one through if I want some more. Now I did a bunch of these earlier because I knew I was going to use them, so I have quite a few already cut out. So by putting them on scrap paper, I can get a lot on the plate at one time, and I think I ran each color through maybe 5 times, so that was 6, and then I have at least 6 of each color, and I don't know that I'm going to use them all, and whatever's left I can save for future. So now you're going to go ahead and place flowers around. I want to be heavy towards, and you see what I did, I got a little bit of ink from my block there, so I'm going to try to cover that up just a little bit. A little tricky thing. And I'm going to go around and place some flowers. I want to make sure I have enough of each color all around. Now I want it to be heavy near the photo and less heavy out at the sides. I think I like it like that. Okay, I need something for a title, and I was looking through my die collection and I found this really cute happy, and it is from the Hello You Thinlit dies, and there's a happy, a thanks, a hello, and a you, and it's really a fun die to have, like little threads that come out, little skinny cuts. There we go. It's a really fun little font too, isn't it? Happy. Makes you happy just looking at it. And I need to find a way to put that down. And when I was looking at that card, which I'm using as a reference in the catalog, it has that little banner coming out. So I decided to do something similar to that. So I've got a strip of Calypso Coral and a strip of white. And I'm going to use my triple banner punch to flag the ends. And you just place that in. And it cuts that little notch out for you. I'm going to do the white as well. Now the triple banner punch is called triple because it makes 3 sizes. The first size is 2-inch, 1 3/4, and 1 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and put, so this time I'm going to line it up in the center slot. There we go. So I'm going to slip that behind. And now I need the word Easter. And again, I looked through my collection. One of the nice things about being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'm just going to give a little plug here, is that I have more items than I would if I wasn't a demonstrator, because I get a discount, which is a nice thing. So if you ever think about joining, it's actually a really good idea. There's no bad side, really. You can do it as long as you want. They don't force you to buy things. If you decide not to, you just drop as a demonstrator. There's no making you have a bunch of items you don't want sitting in your basement getting dusty. If you don't want to buy it, you don't buy it. And after the end of the quarter, if you haven't made your quota, then you just are simply dropped as a demonstrator. So there really isn't a downside. And I really think it's a fun idea, and you can get your fun products at a discount, but also meet some new friends, maybe get involved in some online communities or get together with some stampers. If you notice on the back of my triple banner punch, I made some other markings for some other sizes because I use this a lot. So I used a Sharpie to make measurements at 1 inch and also at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to use my little 1/2 inch mark to cut that. Okay. I'm trying to decide what color I want to put around that. Maybe eggplant? I think eggplant. Okay, here's some elegant eggplant. Again, I'm going to flag the end. Okay, so I'm going to layer that. Notice I haven't glued anything down. There's always a chance that I might change my mind on something. Okay, so I've got Happy Easter. Like that. Okay, now what else do I need? I think I want that to overlap a little bit. And maybe I'll put flower. And let's see. I need some journaling. I'm a strong believer in journaling, and I don't like my handwriting, to be honest, but journaling in a scrapbook is sweet because you're not going to remember. I'm not going to remember that the kids were afraid and wouldn't sit until Maggie came. So that's something I want to put in here. I want to write that down and remember that. And it's going to help these little two remember that they hung out with their older cousin, and it's going to help their older cousin remember that the nice time when the littles were small and fun. And it's always a good memory to write things down. It's an important part of scrapbooking. So don't be afraid of your handwriting. Don't be afraid of the story. It's really an important step in creating those memories for you and your family. I'm going to think about what to write for a second. Sometimes rather than put my handwriting directly on the page, which makes me very nervous, I use little scraps of paper. And it's kind of fun. It looks cute when you put it on your page, and that way if I make a mistake, I haven't ruined my whole entire project. So I have some journaling pens. I'm going to use those. They're from Stampin' Up, and they're nice because they are archival friendly. Do you have a scrap bag? I have a scrap bag, and I always have these little strips left over, so I use them in my journaling. Okay, it says, it was great to have Maggie with us as we visited the Easter Bunny. It gave Jillian and Zachary the courage they needed to take the photo. Now, I don't know if that's even going to work because it might be too much writing. So let's see. And I'll move things around as needed. Okay. So I'm going to take my paper snips and make this a little smaller. I really believe you have to just let it go with the perfection because I think the important part is really getting the memory down. So I've got that. I think I'm going to stop at this period. Like that. Okay. All right. Okay, I think I'm going to start adhering things to the page. I like it. It's simple but sweet. It's fun, and I'm going to go with it. So I'm going to start gluing things down. I'm going to fast forward while I do it so you don't have to watch that process in slow motion. And when I'm done, I might see if it needs anything. Okay. Okay, I think I'm done. I'm going to take the camera off the stand because it's not, it's too close to see the whole thing at once. And I hope you like it. It's cute. Oh, I'm going to add a date at the bottom. But I'm all set. Okay, pardon the shakiness as I take it off the stand. There it is, all finished. I hope that you like it. Let me show you some close-ups. Now you probably noticed I got a little glue right there. As soon as it dries, I'm going to take this little gummy eraser that's sold by Stampin' Up. And it's really nice because it'll just, you dab it on top and it just takes away the shiny glue that comes out from some of your items. You probably noticed too, as I was gluing, I use glue dots, and that's because with the glue dot you can sometimes lift it up and move things around, and I like to do that for the little embellishments because I move them around quite a bit. So here's the little flowers. I hope you like my page. I hope that you'll give the dies and the circle technique. You can probably look through some of your stamps and find some stems that you can bend and give the idea of turning a straight stem into a circle with a plate. It's really fun and easy, and it really makes a pretty page or a card like I showed you in the catalog. And please stop by my blog, www.bethspapercuts.com, to check out this in more detail, and also to shop for Stampin' Up! Products. I have a Shop Now button, a Join button, and a frequent buyer rewards program. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.